All right, well, good evening, everyone. It's good to see you again. Those of you who I saw back in the fall when I presented for the English department, I'm here once again. Mr. Twizzler and I sort of share several of the arts. I focus on film and drama.
And I focus on music and art. And don't worry, I will also be coming back at a later time because I have some other departments as well to represent.
So one of the things that we want to bring to your attention, you may already be aware that the visual and performing arts are undergoing a standards revision process. And I would compare this a little bit akin to what we saw happening in English and math a number of years ago when those standards were sort of reconceived through the Common Core process. And we've seen other disciplines also go through standards revision processes. And usually what comes out of that is they take what in many cases are very disparate or sort of very numerous standards that go in a lot of different directions, and they try to begin to house them under a framework that gives a little more coherence, principle, and focus to the arts. And in this particular case, as they were revising these standards, they really began to look at processes and principles that regardless of the particular art that you might be engaging in, it's providing a framework for that creative process with the undergirding sort of ambition to make the arts a lifelong pursuit, a lifelong endeavor. And certainly with some of the things we have to share with you tonight, you can kind of see how that is very evident. Mr. Twizzler, I don't know if there's anything you want to add?
Yeah. I just want to add in one aspect, and that is if you were to go and look at the standards for drama or art or music, they might look very different. But what's really interesting about how the state put this together is it's these same four characteristics that undergird, I believe was Mr. McIsaac's word, that shape what all this is about. And what they did was they really just provided different language depending on the setting as to where a student was at. So, for example, if you were in exploring music, it might make more sense to use the music media or mixed media standards instead of using the music standards, because a lot of the music standards are geared towards ensembles and performance. And that just doesn't make as much sense in a course where there's not a performance. So first I'd like to talk to you about art. This slide really showcases a lot of what our students are doing. All the visual and performing arts are more about the action that the students are being able to accomplish in class than necessarily a test that might be at the end. I really like in some of these pictures that you can see the design process that students are really trying to champion more in these classes, where they're spending more time up front thinking about what they're going to create and planning it out and designing it on paper before they actually put ink on the brush to be able to actually create anything. They're also doing a lot on the back end. We're spending more time creating things like portfolios, where students are reflecting on what they're creating and thinking about how it connects to the whole world. With that in mind, we do have some classes that are doing projects that are connecting to that outside world. On the left, you see the Memory Project. This is a program where Vince D'Amico teamed up with a program that connects to orphanages in Africa and collects pictures of those students, and then our students draw them and then send all of those pieces of art back to the students. So these underprivileged students that are in remote villages in Africa are now getting portraits of themselves. On the right, you see our Wings of Hope project. That's being done by the Team Arts class. In that class, each of those small different colored pictures are feathers. Each one is inspirational. And then they put it up on the wall. Lindsay Hopkins put it up on the wall to be able to have it be a selfie situation. So the students could then stand in front of that and have these wings of hope behind them to be able to add to social media. We also went a little bit closer to home. We have pictures up all across the campus, and it's quite awesome for our students to be able to showcase their work. We've went through multiple years where students really had a restriction of being able to create and display their work. And so it's fantastic to be able to walk the halls of campus and see student artwork up. We also had the opportunity to work with the Hunterdon County Library and be able to showcase some of our student work there. Music is also excited about some changes. I'm a little bit short on time. I can't go through every awesome course that we have at the program of studies. There's quite a few of them. But I just wanted to showcase two of them that have had great changes this year. For the first time, I just mentioned team art. For the first time, we're offering team music. And we've had a lot of success so far with our students that are in the autism program to be able to participate in music and work with some of our general education students like we're doing in art. And so far, it's only started this semester, but it has been a fantastic start to the course. The kids are really happy about it. The staff is very happy about it. They're doing a great job. The Marching Red Devils have taken back to the field, and it's great to be able to have those experiences again where our students can showcase their skill out to the world. I want to take a moment. I'm sure you're all aware of how fantastic our music program is and how wonderful their performances are, and if you're not, stick around. But I wanted to show you this picture because I was truly moved. This was an example of all of our choir students coming together in one ensemble with the orchestra in the pit supporting them. So in this one piece, they really showcase the breadth of skill across the department, all working together. If you haven't had a chance to come out to see one of the concerts, here's a list of all of our events that are coming up in the spring, and I invite you to come out and join us.
All right, shifting to drama and film, I want to highlight our two staff all-stars, Ms. Enterline and Mr. Rupp. And I kind of want to draw some attention to their unique qualifications. Mr. Rupp remains actively involved in film projects, fight choreography, video production, and he plays a very frightening antagonist in these clips. And as far as Ms. Enterline goes, once you've been bobbleheaded by your students, you have achieved the pinnacle of instructional success. So kudos to both of them. In terms of the drama program, it really is a tiered, leveled program that allows students to walk in with the minimal, if they have even just the slightest interest and inquiry, in that entry level of exploring theater, all the way up through honors theater. And each course really just sort of intensifies both the production, the performance, the demands on the part of the students in terms of scene performance, character study, director responsibilities. Ms. Enterline really runs a constant production, and it is very common to just, her classes are happening either in the Little Theater or in the auditorium as much as possible, because it really is a workshop experience that she seeks to establish in there. Many different projects, students dabbling in design, makeup application. You see our theater old age makeup project, and in the lower left-hand corner is our Artist in Residence program that we've been engaged in for a number of years with the George Street Playhouse, where professionals come out to interact with the students to talk about stagecraft, acting technique, song, dance. Each year it has a little bit of a different focus, and that's something we've been able to sustain for a number of years and has been a great success. The way that students engage in these classes obviously then parlays into other places, both the activities in terms of performances that we have here and our Thespian Society, who annually competes and is awarded a phenomenal array of commendations and success. And we actually have two students with us tonight who are members of that society and can certainly answer questions about that work and the things they've done and how their classwork has extended or offered them the opportunity to really indulge their interest and their passion. In terms of film, we have two courses, Intro to Film and Honors Film Studies. And this is a program that has really exploded over the past few years. And again, I ascribe that to a fair amount to just the energy and enthusiasm of Mr. Rupp and his passion for film. Going back to the standards that we were talking about, one of the things that is evolving as regards a number of the arts is really more of that creative impetus that is involved in a course where the focus historically might have been more on learning the language of film, learning to critique film, learning about different styles and genres. We are now moving more into the direction, not necessarily of production per se, but given the ubiquity of student cell phones, with the purchase of just a few pieces of technical equipment from stands to gimbals to things that can do like floating shots, just using your cell phone, students can really learn to appreciate and study screenshots as they learn everything from lighting to staging to composition. and begin to emulate those techniques using their phones. And I won't put anyone to the trivia test, but you're welcome to see how many of these you recognize. But I put them up here really just to illustrate that when students study, whether it's classic or contemporary films, and they're looking at stills from those films, those are the opportunities that they have to look at, like the middle one in the upper left from Citizen Kane. I gave it away in case anybody was wondering. Orson Welles was famous for his deep focus shots and having characters foreground, midground, background. So students learn those principles. Whether it's learning the difference between close-ups or pulling back, or really composing shots, or learning about costuming. And with each film, with each technique, they learn how it's applied in a film, how that job is done, and they begin to explore how they might replicate some of those things on their own as well. As was stated, we have a treat for you tonight. Two of our students, Emmy Herman and Toby Chernesky, who recently performed in Les Mis, if you had an opportunity to see them. But again, we wanted to bring this in to kind of show you that the students who engage in the arts here really do live and breathe that passion. The arts for them are, in many cases, the things that bring some of these students to school, that bring all of their other interests with them. And going into these classes, seeing the teachers doing their work, you get that passion, you get that connection that kids have to and through the arts. So without any further ado, I want to introduce our student performers.
Hi, I'm Emmy Herman. I played Eponine, and I'm going to be singing on my own. On my own, pretending he's beside me, all alone, I walk with him till morning. Without him, I feel his arms around me. And when I lose my way, I close my eyes and he has found me. In the rain, the pavement shines like silver. All the lights are misty in the river. In the darkness, the trees are full of starlight, and all I see is him and me forever and forever. And I know it's only in my mind that I'm talking to myself and not to him. And although I know that he is blind, still I say there's a way for us. I love him, but when the night is over, he is gone. The river's just a river. Without him, the world around me changes. The trees are buried everywhere. The streets are full of strangers. I love him, but every day I'm learning. All my life I've only been pretending. Without me, his world will go on turning. A world that's full of happiness that I have never known. I love him. I love him. I love him, but only on my own. Thank you.
Alrighty, hello everyone. My name is Toby Chernesky, and I do want to mention the presentation that was previously given. I'm actually the Vice President of the Thespian Society and also the Treasurer of the Triumph Music Honor Society. And I truly love this program so much in both the theater department and the music department. It's not only just a part of so many students' education, but it's such a community, and everyone there is so close and so loving, including the theater classes too. I've gone through that process, so really, my heart goes out to the entire program there. And then in Les Mis, I was fortunate enough to get to play the role of Jean Valjean, and the song I'll be performing today is "Bring Him Home." And to give a quick little intro on that, it's basically the part in the show where after Valjean finds out that there is a boy who is in love with his daughter, and he originally goes out to fight at the barricade to kind of go against the boy who has been flirting with his daughter, and he sees how much Marius is in love with Cosette, and then this song that I'll be singing kind of talks about those feelings. God on high, hear my prayer in my need. You have always been there. He is young. Let him rest, heaven blessed. Bring him home, bring him home, bring him home. He's like the sun I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one. How soon they fly on and on. And I know it will be gone. Bring him peace. Bring him joy. He is young. He is only a boy. You can take, you can give. Let him be. Let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Thank you.